Naipit ko na. Ayan na mga kameta, kamusta kayo dyan? I hope nakikita niyo ako. I hope yung internet na as usual. Hindi pa rin tayo sa minamahal natin hometown. Lahat okay except yung internet. Medyo nowadays. Eto na mga kameta. Eto na mga kameta. Medyo na-leak na po yung copy ng Pulse Asia survey nung December for senatorial bids in 2025. And exactly katulad ng pinag-usapan natin dun sa ating R&R show with Ronald Llamas. Ito na, mukhang malaking chance na at least tatlong kandidato galing sa totoong opposition na pwedeng pumasok sa Magic 12 should, of course, any of them, if not all of them, run for office next year. Of course, before the end of this year, andito na tayo 2024, dapat na mag-register ang mga kandidato for the race next year. So more or less in few months from now, magsisimula yung totoong labanan, no? At exactly katulad ng sinabi natin, the situation is not as hopeless as some people think. But of course, it's not gonna be easy. Now, before pupunta tayo dun sa Pulse Asia survey, alam ko narami pinaka-hopeful na survey ako as far as chances for opposition is concerned dun sa 2025. And again, ulitin natin kasi kahapon nga medyo nagkaroon ng problema. It takes scrambling. Sige lang, mag-scramble sila para lang makapasok sila dito sa Magic 12 in the Senate or any national position. Anyway, kanina, meron tayong interview dun sa ating mother station, of course, at of course, I was preparing for a very important set of questions. Of course, we're talking about the ICC, we're talking about yung mga calculus ng unity, we're talking about the political landscape. Pero mukhang ang ending kanina, no? Itong awayan ng mga minamahal niyong vloggers, no? Ito, parang ayoko na lang i-play ito. Kaya na lang mag-play yan. Oh, ito. Saan ba? Ilagay natin dito sa camera. Grabe.
Coastal landas namin ni SASS mga May 2016. Tapos dire-diretso na nun. Tapos naisip ko, tatandaan ko nun, 9 years later, kwento siya ng Pilipinas kasi daw wala daw siyang residence visa doon. Tapos sabi ko, tatanda ko pa nga, nung ano ba ito? Hindi naman ito.
Wait lang, guys.
Alright. Tapos, paano ba to? Over the years, tipi-tipi, ganyan. Tapos mga bandang 20, nung pandemic na, syempre, petics lahat. Sabi ko, hindi makapag-aral nga ako. Pinag-uusapan namin ni SAS yun eh. Actually, ang unang nag-float sa aral sa Europe, si SAS. Ang sabi niya, alam mo ba, RJ, ang dali-daling kumuha ng scholarship dito sa Europe, ganyan. Mag-aral ka dito, kahit matanda naman dito, okay lang mag-aral, ganyan. Tapos sabi ko,
Mas okay.
makunat ako. Kasi nga guys, ganito, hindi ko ugali yung nag-uusap ng pera. Gets nyo? Paki eh. Mas maganda pa yung may kaya, tapos tahimik lang. Gano'n lang naman ako eh.
Okay, anyway guys, mukhang ito, balikan natin ito. Sorry, na-size ko lang dito. Wala tayong wala tayong mga dalang mga OBS and all. But anyways, mukhang medyo uminit-unit itong away ng mga ex-same camp DDS people. But, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, last year pa lang nakita natin yan eh. Especially nung time na si BBM ay nag-push for expansion of the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement. Doon talaga nagkakaalaman na yung mga dating same DDS camp. Kasi nag-split na eh. And some of the big names, major bloggers nila, ay talagang talagang nag-all opposition mode dun sa EDCA, nag-all pro-China mode, nag-all pro-Duterte mode. But some of them, including this person na dating orgmate natin, actually, as far as I know, nag-defend ng position na administration pagdating sa EDCA. And I think there was a time na nag-back and forth pa yung dalawa na yan na sinong may mas alam dito sa foreign policy. Mukhang yung isa sabi niya, may access daw siya sa information, yung isa wala daw. Yung mga ganyan flex na yan. But anyway, I don't want to get into, whatever of these people. But ang sinasabi ko lang, actually, isang dahilan na matagal namin alam na magkakaroon talaga ng gulo dito sa Unity Team at hindi tatagal Unity Team is because of itong hidwaan na nakita natin sa pagitan ng mga major bloggers nila, right? Blogger naman talaga. I mean, nothing more I can say about them. Hindi naman sila expert, hindi naman sila ano. Anyway, so, so I'm not surprised na medyo nag-intensify na ito. So, yun lang. I mean, but for me, again, I know na parating may temptation, no? Na ang gusto ng tao ay magpa-popcorn na lang, just to have fun at the expense of these people having this meltdown and all of that. Pero para sa akin mga kameta, you know, this is a golden opportunity for the opposition to get its act together. Real opposition. Kasi yung nakikita natin na opposition ngayon, ito yung pro-digong side na hindi natutuwa sa direction ng ating bansa ngayon sa ilalim ni BBM dahil sa kanilang palagay. Si BBM ay mas malapit sa ang kanyang, hindi lang temperament, pero mas malapit yung kanyang polisiya dun sa mga liberals or yung mga bête noire, yung mga pinakalaban ng mga DDS, no? Now, for me, of course, I see why people are having fun. People are enjoying picking up the popcorn. People are enjoying these people spilling the beans on each other. No, I don't know. I don't know how much true yung mga beans spilling nila. But whatever. Para sa akin, how should I put it? I'm glad that actually maraming tao katulad ni for instance sila Christian Esguerra or yung kaibigan natin si Kristan among others, no, ay nagiging active na online, on YouTube, on social media. So hindi na ito yung traditional situation kung saan ang labanan ay mainstream journalist media na katulad natin, and then pagdating sa social media sila yung superpowers. And then, ano na lang, magkakaalaman na. No, ngayon, malakas na rin yung mga progressives. Malakas na rin yung mga legit journalists, legit experts na meron na rin silang sariling mga YouTube channels, meron na silang sariling mga social media platforms, meron na silang sariling mga fan base, ayan, mga factsnatics bang tawag din kaya no? Or yung mga ganon, or mga kameta, of course, for that matter, di ba? Alam mo naman, number one lang naman tayo sa political podcast. Yung ganun lang naman yung levels natin. But, sorry Lord. No, but you get what I'm saying, mga kameta. No? So, I see some good signs here. I see some green shoots here. Kung saan, medyo may marami sa atin, mga kababayan na may sense of critical thinking, may sense of we want politics based on evidence. We want politics based on sanity, on reasonableness, on rationality, based on human rights, no? Lumalakas na online ngayon. At kitang-kita ko yan sa YouTube, sa social media, lumalaban na. But of course, hindi pwede hanggang dyan lang. So hindi pwede hanggang popcorn lang, number one. Hindi lang pwede hanggang lumalaban lang sa social media. Of course, good naman na medyo patas na yung laban ngayon. Para yung mga kababayan natin, meron silang options na it's not about them either having cable news channel connection or going to YouTube for free and watching some trashy people talking about how Tata is the best president in the solar system. No, hindi na siya ganun. No? So ngayon, pwede libre, punta ka YouTube, manood ka ng yung mga katulad natin, di ba? And malalaman mo mga kapalpakan ng mga populist, strongman, etc. And at the same time, magkakaroon ka rin ng critical thinking pagdating doon naman sa kakulangan ng ibang presidente, including mga liberals, reforms, progressive, etc. At pwede rin natin pag-usapan ano yung mga kailangan mangyari para mag-move forward yung ating democracy in the right direction. Hindi lang real change but real good change. May real change naman kay Tatay Digong except for the worst, diba? So we want real good change. Now, speaking of real good change, kailangan din na magkakaroon ng leveling dun sa actual state institutions, especially sa national level. And especially sa Senado. Mahalaga kasi mga Senado. So, katulad ng pinag-usapan natin kahapon, mga kameta, of course, pasensya na, medyo connection and all has not been so good. So, I'm just trying to alternate between different sides to get the best connection possible. Na, ito yung sinabi ko na, yes, I understand kung may mga iba nagsasabi na perhaps 2025 is too early, na sa daming talo ng opposition, real opposition, progressive liberal opposition, 2016, si Lenny lang naman talaga yung stellar victory, 2019, wala. And then 2022, si Riza Intiveros lang nakapasok talaga from real opposition dun sa national level election. So, after 3 bruising defeats, some are thinking maybe it's time for really deep soul searching, and perhaps realistically we have to look at 2028. Pero ang argument ko dito is baka hindi na darating yung 2028 elections in the sense that we're expecting it, because 2025 pa lang pwede ma-determine yung future ng ating political system should the pro-Marcos camp push ahead with constitutional change altogether. That's a very, very big possibility na kung sobrang big time yung panalo ng pro-BBM camp. And my genuine concern sila na pwedeng manalo mga Dutertes in 2028 pagdating sa presidency, then baka ipipreempt na nila yan and they'll push for constitutional change as early as 2025, right after elections, and they may have enough number to do that. So that's exactly where kailangan mo ng may opposition. You need people from the opposition to be there in the room, to have a say, and to have a seat at the table. Mahalaga yun, to have a seat at the table is very, very important for the opposition, because otherwise they could be completely boxed out. Not only from the drama of Duterte versus Marcos and the conflagration of the unity team, but potentially magkakaroon ng boxing out of the political landscape for the foreseeable future if magkakaroon ng constitutional change. And in the process of taking out the Dutertes or preventing them from coming back 2028, baka completely ma-engineer isang bagong saligang batas, isang new constitutional order kung saan there's really limited space for real progressive liberal opposition. Now, speaking of all of this, in fairness naman, may mga green shoots. So, kahapon, pinag-usapan natin yung Okta survey. And before that, of course, pinag-usapan din natin yung Publicos Asia survey. You also had snippets of yung interview natin sa CNN Philippines the other day. So, pag tinignan yung mga survey na yan, quote-unquote surveys na yan, you're gonna be a little bit concerned because parang si Lenny lang parang may chance doon, at even Lenny is not within even the striking distance doon sa mga surveys na nakita natin. And then si Tatay Digong daw ang number 1 doon sa isang survey na very credible, di ba? But eto, from the copy that we saw from Pulse Asia, at gusto ko i-share sa inyo yan kasi pinag-usapan namin ni, I think first it was, in fairness, Ronald Llamas who mentioned it, and he said it gives you some room for optimism. And then ngayon it's also circulating online. Kasi commission yata survey to, so hindi siya for public. Ito So ito mga kameta, no? Kung titignan nyo dito, right? Kung titignan nyo dito, alright, ipopost. So, obviously, again, number 1 si Erwin Tulfo. Sabi ko, yun yung consistent na pattern na nakita natin sa lahat ng surveys. Isa pa naman Tulfo ang in the lead. And then you have, usual suspects like, yung mga artista, celebrity, politicos like Tito Soto. Hindi ito Tito Boy Soto. Vicente, Tito Soto. And then, of course, you have the other versions, the younger version of that, like Isko Moreno. Nasa top 4, top 5 na rin. And then you have yung mga the Digong Team Digong, no? Bongo, De La Rosa, Bato, Aimee, yung mga ganyan tipo. Then you have, of course, again, other kind of celebrities like Pacquiao. But this is where things get interesting. In fairness, si Willie Ong mukhang mataas ng chance niya na baka makapasok na siya sa etong election cycle na to, because he did pretty decent in the former Senate races. He didn't do as well sa vice presidential race. Mahabang usapan niya. We can get into that. Madrama din yun. But it looks like Willie Ong may finally have the chance to get in the Senate should he run for 2025. Mukhang medyo may pagka-Riza Hontiveros yata. Baka mga third time lucky siya, di ba? Although previously, of course, he ran for vice presidency. But this is where things get interesting. Pasok dun sa circle, sa Magic 12, potential Magic 12, si Bam Aquino, si Kiko Pangilinan, and in fact, the two rank even higher than Leni Robredo. But all of them are within the range of 10 to 21 or 11 to 27. So theoretically, pasok silang tatlo, or may good chance sila na makapasok sa top 12 if ever they run for office. And then medyo hirap si Francis Tolentino, and then si Gibo Chodor is kind of there gnawing at the edges. And then andun din si Richard Gordon, Mar Rojas, Trillanes, Hunasan, and then the rest, no? So, if you look at it, exactly katulad ng sinabi natin dun sa previous vlog, it looks like at least there are 3 opposition, real opposition, liberal, progressive opposition affiliated folks who have a very good chance of making it to Magic 12 should they run for office 2025. And then, of course, we said na pagdating kay Lenny, mukhang iba yung plano niya. And again, I said so many things. Actually, I don't know, I don't want to say I regret it. Hindi naman. Sa tingin ko naman tama naman yung lahat ng sinasabi natin last year about, what opposition should do, etc. Pero, at the end of the day, it's her choice, no? I think, she did a lot for the country. Ang hirap ng mga dinaanan niya when she ran for the presidency. So, sino ba naman tayo to pipilitin siya, no? To throw her hat into the ring again. But as I said, since there are not too many na galing sa real opposition na may malaking chance na makapasok sa Magic 12, I think it's still worth for the Lenny camp to think about the possibility of considering the Senate race. Now, she's not doing as well as perhaps some people would have expected. I would have thought that maybe top 3, top 5. But I don't know. I think if Lenny really wants to run for Senate and then she really makes a rallying cry for it, I think there's a very good chance of hindi lang top 12, Magic 12. There's a very good chance she can make it to top 5. After all, this is a person who won 15 million, more than 15 million votes. Oh, ibang usapan niya SD cards and Google Trends. But officially speaking, she won more than 15 million votes for the presidency. That's a very hard thing to do, right? Because sa presidency, isa lang binoboto. Unlike sa Senate, ang dami mo pwede bobotohin. So, 15 million as a presidential candidate is very different from 15 million as a senatorial candidate. And the 15 million that Lenny got is very close to the 16 million that Duterte got, although, of course, they're different election cycles. But nevertheless, that tells you that a large plurality, at least a quarter of voters, wanted Lenny as at least the president of the republic. And my sense is a much bigger plurality will be happy to see her at least as one out of, 24 senators out there and one of the 12 to be elected next year. So in theory, I think Lenny has a very good chance of not only making to top 12, but also top 5 even, if not higher, if she really goes for it, really mobilizes for it, really builds on the pink movement, really builds on the enthusiasm and support and the good reputation and the fighting spirit that she demonstrated during the 2022 elections. Now, again, I express a lot of my skepticism, criticism, constructive criticism dun sa mga kakulangan na opposition. Of course, off the record, I have expressed this to many people who should have listened to it. And in fairness naman, I've seen many people, not openly, publicly, of course, publicly, maraming galit sa atin. But off the record, I think a lot of people saw what we were doing. But as I said, sino ba naman tayo? At the end of the day, this is really up to Lenny Robredo. Now, the reason why I'm raising this issue is because, remember, when Lenny Robredo decided to run for the presidency, last year, ang sinabi niya is ayaw niya bumalik yung mga Marcoses, no? So yun yung fundamental na dahilan, no? Ito yung pinakamalakas na dahilan na bakit hindi siya nag-retire, no? Or hindi siya bumalik na lang sa LGU level politics, at bakit tumakbo siya bilang presidente, which was something that took many people by surprise, no? So eto na, okay, nanalo na si Marcos and all. So far, of course, it's not turning out as horrific, problematic, etc., as people thought initially, especially in the opposition. But as I said, pwede palitan kasi yung saligang batas in 2025 onwards. So isn't that even a bigger concern than just the return of Marcoses? This could be a completely different constitutional order after 2025. And Lenny Robredo seems to be one of the, at least the presidential candidates. One of the real opposition leaders who has a pretty good chance. As I said, now in the survey, she's not doing as well as you would have expected her. But I think if she really goes for it, she will announce it, she tries to mobilize, ibang usapan yan, considering she won more than 15 million votes as a presidential candidate. And then you have their Bam Aquino, right? It's interesting. In fact, Bam Aquino ranks higher than any other presidential candidate. Opposition affiliated candidate. Up to 10th position ang pwede niya makuha. Ang preference rating niya is around a quarter of voters, and awareness niya is also 100%. So napakalakas, napakataas yung awareness level, even higher than Willie Ong. No, obviously he was a senator, and of course, I mean, the thing is, I think the Aquino name has not been done justice to, right? Of course, I'm among people who raise constructive criticisms dun sa mga kakulangan ng mga two Aquino administrations. But at the same time, totally nonsense yung DDS line na kasalanan ng mga Aquino. No. I mean, the first thing you can say about both Corazon and Aquino is Pinoy is that hindi sila corrupt. And that's something hard to say about many presidents, many politicians in our political system. People are honest, people who are incorruptible. I think both Corazon Aquino and Pinoy, anyone who has a reasonable, state of mind would know that that's the case. Uh, and in fairness, I think as far as intention is also concerned, both Pinoy and Corazon Aquino had very good intentions. Now we can talk about dun sa mga kakulangan nila. We had separate vlogs on that, on things that Corazon Aquino did not do when she could have pushed for more radical transformative change under the Constitution. She could have pushed for debt cancellation, etc. Partial debt cancellation, odious debt cancellation. Marami din tayo sinabi about Mama Sapano, crisis, handling of that, post-crisis management, about Hayan, Yolanda, even about the economy in the West Philippine Sea. I had some reservations with the Aquino administration. But having said all of those things, I think Ninoy Aquino, the sacrifice he made for the Philippines, the good intentions and the kind of clean governance that the both Corazon Aquino and Pinoy represented, despite all of their shortcomings, many, many shortcomings, in terms of bringing about social justice and inclusive development, I think you need someone from the Aquino clan to come out and fight for that name. And perhaps the best person to do that is Bam Aquino. Is the fourth, right? Benigno Aquino the fourth or something like that. I think he's the right guy. Very smart person. Um, Again, I had some concerns about the campaign of Lenny last year, but from some very good friends of mine who know Bam Aquino very, very well. I never had the privilege of meeting him or exchange notes with him, but from some people who actually meet him, have met him, talk to him, they always tell me he's actually the very smart, reasonable guy. And yes, he was the campaign manager of Lenny and all, but actually he was always the one who was thinking ahead and thinking outside the box. But for some reason, of course, hindi parating umubra yung kanyang, let's say, more ahead of time or outside the box thinking, or approach, because there were other people to take in consideration. I don't know, siguro ito yung mga hardcore dilawan, whatever. We can talk about that. Now, going back to this, so I think having someone as young and as successful and as smart as Bam Aquino, and someone with that name coming back to the Senate would be something very, very important. And I think the Aquino name has to be done justice to. Now, I think there was a lot of, how should I put it? I mean, over-valorization of Aquinos, like parang, alam mo na, di ba? I don't want to go down that, you know what I'm talking about, right? Na parang perfect sila and all of that, which was not true, obviously. But at the same time, I think there was an overcorrection of that. Na yung pambabastos, all the fake news, disinformation, all of the horrible things said about Ninoy and the Aquinos and all of that. So you need to balance that. You need to correct that. You need to provide a proper, you have to carry forward yung legacy ng Aquinos. And I think Bam Aquino would be the right one. And then Coco Pimentel. Coco Pimentel. Kiko Pangilinan. Kiko Pangilinan, interesting guy. Actually, I had the chance to have a short chat with him earlier this year, in an international conference and all. And I got to talk to also people who know him quite well and about his advocacy sa agriculture. And, I also watch him in person. He presents, talks about things. In fairness to the guy, he has some sort of gravitas to him. Pretty smart guy. I think he's also a very very reflective person. I think nag-reflect siya dun sa mga shortcomings nila as an opposition. The few short interactions I had with him, or short panels that or panels that shared, I felt that there was no resentment or anything like that. He was very cool. He was very chill. Again, yung mga ibang kameta, alam nyo, daming galit sa akin dahil ang dami kong sinabi last year because first of all, I raised big questions with the whole Google Trends, blah blah, right? Like, good luck, diba? If you're gonna question pulsation and stuff, yes, and then ang alternative mo Google Trends, forget about it. I also raised questions about this whole Rappler school of thought that this is all about disinformation or something like that. I also questioned that, and I stand by that argument because it's valid. It's a valid intellectual and reasonable empirical argument, and any real strategists, political strategists, or social scientists know that we are right. Um, but going back to this, mga kameta, um, the thing I'm saying here is that sorry, mukhang yung signal na naman ay medyo sablay. No, but the thing is, I sense with people like Kiko Pangilinan, these are sufficiently reflective people. These are smart people. These are people with gravitas. So I think having him back in the Senate will be very important for the opposition to have a say. And I think he also learned lessons of the Duterte years. That if opposition were to be relevant, to be effective, they have to be palaban, and they should not give space dun sa mga trolls, dun sa mga horrible people who have been poisoning the well of democratic discourse. So I think these three individuals, should they decide to run for office, right? This one of them or two of them or potentially three of them, I think they can make a difference. And they have to make a difference because again, kung walang galing sa real opposition or progressive opposition, dun sa susunod na Senado, you're essentially what? I think just Riza there. Good luck with that, diba? Coco Pimentel. I mean, is Coco Pimentel gonna be? Kailan ba nanalo si Coco? Di ba 2019 siya tumakbo, di ba? Oh, is he even here dito? Kaya nga, parang I'm not even sure Coco is running again because sobrang hindi ko siya nakikita dun sa mga competitive. Di ba 2019 tumakbo si Coco Elad? Anyway, now, regardless if he's here and there, he doesn't represent the real progressive opposition, right? So super mahalaga na lumaban ng opposition, yung totoong opposition for a position. Term limited, okay, anyway, mukhang malabo, di ba? Anyway, so parang Risa na lang. And so if the pro-BBM camp, right? I know, yung marami sa inyo galit na galit sa mga Dutertes, parang you rather have the BBM camp win. But if the BBM camp completely dominates the 2025 elections, right? And then they go for constitutional change, and then si Riza lang nandun na single opposition, good luck na lang, di ba? Good luck na lang. So hindi lang mabobox out ang totoong opposition dyan, baka mabobox out din yung mga more progressive principles and values that you want to see in our constitution. So yun po yung konteksto ng ating conversation today. Anyway, again, sorry, the internet is horrible. Na disconnect na naman ako dito sa kabila. Nakaka-distract kasi yan kasi you're building momentum, you're trying to say something nice and then the internet cuts out. But anyway, all I'm saying here is that it's not gonna be easy. Maraming mga obstacles, malakas ang kalaban, maraming re-election is. I think, agree ako kay Ronald na potentially ito yung pinakamahirap ng Senate race in recent memory. Ang daming malalakas na re-election is. On the surface, it looks like labanan ito ng essentially pro-Digong camp and then the more Marcos-leaning or totally pro-Marcos camp. Parang ganun ang labanan. But as I said, there are at least 3 people from the real opposition who have a pretty good chance of making it to Magic 12. And I won't be surprised. Let's say Lenny doesn't run, but Kiko runs, Bama Kino runs, and then siguro Lenny could rally behind another candidate like Chel Joknong, I don't know, Mar Rojas, or someone with liberal or progressive credentials. I don't know, Ralph Recto, someone like that, or Frank Rilon. And so they need to get at least 2 or 3 people in para hindi lang nag-iisa si Riza. Right? At hindi totally box out ang opposition. And then siguro Lenny can run for governor or she can run for congressman or mayor dun sa kanilang bailiwick. And then she can become also a rallying cry at the LGU level, at the executive level for the real opposition. Yun lang sinasabi natin. Alright? Thank you very much mga kameta. So, actually things are not as hopeless as people think they are. And at the same time also, wag naman kayo masyadong dismissive sa lahat ng surveys. In fact, Pulse Asia is the most hopeful survey as far as chances of the opposition is concerned. Kung kinumpara mo yun dun sa mga less established ones na pinag-usapan natin in previous vlogs. The Pulse Asia one is the most hopeful one. And I don't have many reasons to doubt this one. I think this is a legit one, this copy that we saw. And I'll post it down there for you guys to see it on your own. And again, all I'm saying here is that it's a fight that is not only worth fighting, it should be fought because there's a very big chance that there'll be push for constitutional change after 2025 for 2 reasons. A, because the pro-BBM camp may do really quite well, so they may have the numbers. And B, because they may decide to make sure na hindi na makabalik ang mga Duterte. So they'll prevent a 2028 scenario whereby, last time I checked, still Sara Duterte is the front runner as far as presidential race is concerned. So yeah, of course, I see Tulfo as a strong alternative. I'm not sure if Martin Romualdez can really, match Sara Duterte. Things could change, but the pro-BBM camp may say, now, why should we even take the risk, right? We can just change the constitution, go parliamentary, and if someone like, I don't know, Martin Romualdez, someone close to BBM can become the prime minister. And all you need for that is to have the biggest party, biggest number of votes, and boom, everything will be nice. So that's a very, very big possibility, right? I think more than 50% chance. So you need to have more than just Riza there in the Senate. That's what I'm saying. All right. And Lenny, whether if she doesn't run, she can still be the leader of opposition in some sense if she's a major LGU official or a congresswoman or I mean, a congresswoman would be also nice, I think, for Lenny. She could also be a major voice sa lower house also. Kind of a fiscalizer on that. All right. Thank you very much, mga kameta. Again, pasensya na dun sa mga nagkakaroon ng connection problem dito, especially sa Facebook at sa YouTube. Medyo maganda yung connection natin kasi ginagamit ko yung sarili kong 5G. Hindi naman siya mura, pero sige lang. Anyway, thank you very much, guys, and talk to you soon. Maraming salamat. And please continue to support us, watch us, subscribe to our channels. Libre lang naman. Subscribe, follow, subscribe din dito sa YouTube channel para maayos din natin itong verification natin. So, the 2 other platforms that I want to, hopefully we can verify soon are YouTube and also TikTok. because I'm also thinking of going TikTok live. All right. Of course, yung sa burner phone natin. Alright. So, I need to verify those accounts, no? Para legit talaga tayo. So, we hope to verify itong account natin sa YouTube. So, we have to meet a certain threshold and hopefully also sa YouTube. Yung other naman, Instagram, I don't know, whatever, yung 3, 4 other platforms na, they're all verified anyway. So, alam niyo na ako naman talaga yan. Legit naman talaga yan. Alright? Thank you very much. God bless and talk to you soon. God bless guys, talk to you soon. Pasensya na dun sa connection sa una eh. Nag-share-share lang kasi ako dito eh. Ang labo talaga ito. Anyways, thank you very much guys. Talk to you soon.